Welcome to Picnic of the Century. Picnic of the Century is a podcast designed to share encouraging messages that will motivate people. In Picnic of the Century, Claude, my co-host, and I sit down over a virtual picnic to discuss and share stories of faith, resiliency, challenges, determination, and success. Claude is from the Boomer generation, and I am from Generation Z. And you know, when those two generations come together, it makes for a wonderful conversation. Today, we will be talking about taking advantage of second chances. For many people, this could mean anything. For us, this was our journey into Canada. Claude is the grandson of an immigrant, and I came to Canada as an immigrant myself. And with that came its challenges, but also an opportunity to better our lives. We will sit down to discuss how our lives change for the better and the importance of taking advantage of opportunities given. But before we dive in, we want to share our deepest gratitude for all of you tuning in. Whether you're listening on a break or on a commute, we really appreciate you sharing this moment with us. Now let's begin our conversation on second chances with Claude.
Hello, James.
Always good to see you.
Always good to see you.
Yes. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I can't complain about the weather.
That's awesome. It's been great weather.
Yes.
You know, summertime is coming. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a really enjoyable time.
Yes.
And so today we will be diving into second chances. Mm-hmm. And for me and you, this was our journey into Canada. So your great-grandparents coming into Canada, but me, myself, coming to Canada as an international student. Yes. So can you tell me a little bit about your family history and ways that you've taken advantage of this opportunity?
Well, I'm like on my mom's side, her grandparents, they came to Canada. It was actually even in the 1600s. They've been around a long time on her side of the family.
Wow.
On my dad's side, they came to Canada about something like 1870.
Yeah.
So and anyway, and then when they came from France.
Yeah.
And you know what? When I think about the pioneers that came in those days, I think like they were comfortable in their own countries, like they were comfortable in France and others that came from other countries. And then they decided one day that they were going to come to Canada.
Yeah.
Because they had heard that there's opportunity.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they had to really, think hard and then they came across the ocean and on these big ships,
Yeah. And so do you know how many people came to Canada?
Well, I think they used to send quite a few at the one time. Like I think when my especially like my grandparents came across, they were I'm sure they were like, because I know in some small towns there, like in Saint Agathe and all these small towns,
yeah,
those people pretty well knew all each other. They were from the same place, and they were all more or less from France, and they ended up in Quebec.
Okay,
and then they came to Manitoba. But I mean, it was a big challenge. I'm sure it. And they came and when they came to Canada, they had a homestead and they built.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, still leaving France, traveling to Canada, not knowing what's waiting for you on the other side. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a big risk.
Because like when in France, they were saying that they can come to Canada and they would get land. And that was an opportunity for them.
Yes.
And they opened the road to to this country. They
Yeah.
made this country what it is, and that's why I feel so passionate about them, because I want to remember them. And like I said, they built houses. They were just, and it was cold winters too. They were very cold. And
Yeah.
they built these houses.
Yeah. So two things. So can you tell us how your grandparents, your great grandparents, took advantage of that opportunity, and then how you, the generations after, upheld that opportunity and multiplied that opportunity and take advantage of it?
Yeah, well, my grandparents, when they were here, they were such an example too. They were like really hardworking, and like you said, they built the homestead. They were on my dad's side, they were gardeners, so they were really good. They grew vegetables. They sold them, so they made their living on that. But on my mom's side, they were carpenters. They were all carpenters, and they built like even some small town there. They built all their the houses in there, built the church, and they were really. Really opened up made the town,
Yeah, so they contributed to community.
Yeah.
They immersed themselves.
Yeah.
They started to learn the Canadian culture and stuff like that.
That's right. And then to me, when I think about what I learned from my grandparents and the Canadians that came here, I learned that to be strong, to be, build, be, sort of like just be like really involved in different things, and involved in the community. You could even, like even my grandfather, he was the mayor of that town where he was. So I myself helped out. I helped out in politics. I helped some people.
That's
and
awesome.
Also, I always wanted to really participate, and I think I got that from them. And my family, my family did well, and it's really, it was like you if you left school, you went to work. It was the way that we were, and I really would like to really just want to just really have a passion, and I want that to stay with them and to remember them like that.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you appreciate newcomers? Because your great grandparents, they started it.
Yeah, they opened the door.
They opened the door that was passed down to your parents, and now you. But there's still newcomers coming to Canada. And from knowing you, I know your son-in-law is an international student. And so how did you help him in immersing himself into Canadian culture? And different people you've met along the way, how did you help them to immerse themselves in community?
To me, I was always always cared for the person that came from another country, and and got involved, and even like you say, my son-in-law. He's from India, and he was like, to me, I even had a nice little talk with him. I said, you know what, you're a Canadian now. You married a Canadian girl, and they don't have children, but I say
soon
that
they will be. Eventually, that's what the future looks like.
And I want people to come to Canada and. Really care about Canadian and care about the flag, they care about the flag, enjoy the, and there's lots to, that you can really embrace, and that you can, participate, and, we got the 1st of July that's coming. And that's where Canadians, even new Canadians, I'm not sure if they swear in some Canadians on that day. So to me, that is good. And I always think that, especially you left, sometimes some of these people, they leave a country
Yeah.
that is, like sometimes it's not that great in their country, that
Yeah.
good.
So with that, I actually remember you telling me about your Ukrainian friend who came to Canada. Can you tell us a little bit about him and his experience? And
Like this friend that was living in my building.
yeah,
He came from Ukraine, and he was, he was not good. He was suffering a lot with that, and he came here, and I was always trying to encourage him to to get a good job. He did find a job, and like I said, he's trying to really embrace and get into the country, but for some reason I think it was just that it didn't really work out for him for some reason.
why do you think that is?
I think I think because of it depends. Just maybe because he was in the war, it was hard one. It was hard to adjust,
Yeah.
And even sometimes I think what you have to do when you have someone that comes from a country, another different country, especially like a country like Ukraine, you really have to help out these people and really make them feel at home.
Yes.
And if they don't feel at home, they will not stay. And then and my friend didn't stay. My friend didn't stay. He decided to go, and I remember when he came the day where he went to Germany. So when the day came, I took him to the airport, and he was a little bit worried there. He was looking at me, and he's there. What happens if it doesn't work out? And
because it could be tough. That's the reality, right? You're taking a risk. You don't know if it's going to work out. Right.
And like that's what I think too about even the pioneers when they came. They must have had the same thought. But anyway, my friend, when he said that to me, what happens if it doesn't work out? And I just looked at him and I said, make it work. Make it work, because you cannot go like that. You can't, go and say, I can't, because, and now I think he's doing just fine.
Yeah. No, I really understand all those stories because, I came here as an international student too. And so I came here when I was 17. And it was like I was taking a risk, right? Because I've never been away from my family, first time being away abroad, I'm not a total adult yet, I'm still pretty young. I'm only 17. And so, but my parents had a vision for me to become more. And so, I was able to come to Manitoba for school and just immerse myself in community. But that didn't happen right away. But Canada really gave me a chance because I always wanted to play college soccer. And for context, I grew up playing soccer. I played at a competitive level. And so the next step for me was to play university ball. And growing up, I always wanted that. And so Canada allowed me to do that. That was a goal it allowed me to accomplish. Later on, it allowed me to get a bachelor's degree in business. And so anybody from the Caribbean, they know if you go abroad and you do something like that, your parents are happy because that's their biggest wish.
We always want to be proud of our kids.
Exactly. And in that little island where I'm from, there's a community college, but no bigger schools where you can, go for a bigger education. And so, no, I'm grateful for Canada for giving me that opportunity. But even on a profound level, it gave me the opportunity to be in community, to be in church. Anytime that I've went through anything hard in my life, for example, when I went through the immigration process, I was having a hard time, community backed me with sending letters and stuff like that and doing different things. When I had troubles with my daughter, childbirth and stuff like that, with finances and support and stuff like that, community was with me. And so I say those things to say, when someone is deciding to go abroad, no matter where you're going, the UK, US, wherever, find community.
Yes.
You know, find people that's going to love you, that's going to be with you. Immerse yourself in the country. You know, I know for me, I didn't like Canada right away. I was very hard in my head. You know, I didn't want to open up to the sports that were being playing here, like hockey.
And I can see that
CFL.
because you get used to your country. You get used to your home. It's your home.
Yes, it's your home. And so
now you're going somewhere else.
But because, you know, family has adopted me and friends have loved me, they've taken me to like football games and hockey, and they've taken me on their boats or on the lake and stuff like that. And I started opening up, and I'm like, wow.
And loving.
This is a whole different thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful experience.
The lakes are beautiful.
Yes, and I started loving it. I started loving it. And so, I would encourage everyone to just, if you're going to take a risk like that, and it is a risk, face the challenges. There's going to be challenges, you know, especially if you're a young guy, you don't know how to manage your money. You don't know how to manage your time. You don't know how to manage anything. And you're going to be making life decisions on your own. And so face the challenges, learn from them, take the risk, immerse yourself in community, you know, open yourself up to doing, you know, whatever that country brings.
Yes. And I was going to say, like you mentioned immigration. I think a lot of people have to be patient with that because I hear that it's very hard. Like there's a lot of people that are, you know, that they have to process. And find some good connections. You know, because that's what it is. Like if you're doing it by yourself, it's not going to work that good for you.
You're going to have a hard time.
I think that's what happened to my friend too. He, I think, like I remember talking to him, telling him, you know, maybe you can talk to someone, you know, and he seemed like he didn't really want to, you know. He didn't want to, like, and sometimes you have to find the right people to talk to. And some people can help you and make the you know, and open doors for you.
Open doors for you.
Yeah, because it's not easy.
Yeah, and the thing is, once you have people that really love you, like you said, they're gonna make the experience smoother than it would have been if you did it by yourself.
Yes.
Because they're always gonna do things to try to keep you a little bit excited, you know, encourage, you know, give you a little boost.
And
you know?
Give you the courage and like you said, you know, hey, I want to do this. And I want to be a Canadian. I want to become, and it's a beautiful country that, you know, I mean, like I'll say it, the best country in the world.
It's given me an opportunity. I'm really happy. That
exactly.
And so, what it is that you would leave with the people? Imagine. I guess you can imagine anyone. Right. It doesn't have to be a 17-year-old like myself, but even people migrate all the time, 25, 30, 40. What message would you leave
I think
with someone doing
myself,
that?
Like myself, I think that I love to travel. And to me, I find that people that come from another country, I'm always curious to know what it is about their country. But what I'd like to say is, like, to me, please, you know, like, enjoy this and, you know, like find there's a good job out there for you. Find what you want. What you want. Like sometimes people just take a job, say, oh, well, it's a job, you know what? It's, you know, you say to them, you know, so how do you like this job? Oh, it's a job. No, you know, find a good job that you like. I think that is a big thing, that if you have, you're happy on the job, you're happy at home, you can't go wrong, you know, and you know, like especially, you know, like get involved in your community. Get involved in your community, and and enjoy the flag.
Yeah,
Enjoy the
you
beautiful
have to.
Canadian flag.
You have to enjoy it. Like I was speaking to you just before about the book of Ecclesiastes, where it says, you know, you don't get to do this basically in the land of dead. You know, like when you pass away, you don't get to do this.
Yes.
You know, and so that's just a motivation for people to just wake up every day and try to enjoy it, you know, try to go through that day and make the best of it. Now, it's not gonna always go as smooth as you think.
No, it's true.
But like the book of Ecclesiastes says, you know, you don't get these opportunities when you pass away. It doesn't exist anymore. So think about that, you know? And so let that trigger your mind to say, you know what, like this is really an opportunity. I want to keep doing this, you know? And if it's not good, well, I'm going to find a way to make it better.
And think in your head too, like even at my age, I think to myself, well, you know what? It was good. The journey's good. The journey's good. It's not over, but it's you know, it's been a good journey.
Yes.
And that's why you got to think,
Yes. Well, it was really good doing another episode with you. I always enjoy sitting down and talking to you. And to all our viewers, we thank you for tuning into this second episode. And you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And also don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to comment and also subscribe. Thank you.